Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. ICICI Bank and cnbc TV 18 present the India Business Summit.
India Business Summit, a platform that brings together great minds from the world of entrepreneurs, leaders who have changed the corporate canvas of India and have been visionaries of success in their fields. This initiative is part of a series of high-powered summits we have been hosting in major cities across the country over the past few months. We kicked off the series in Pune, moved to Bangalore, then Kolkata, Chennai, and today we are in Ahmedabad, a city known for its spirit of doing business. Our central theme this evening, ladies and gentlemen, celebrates the entrepreneurial spirit, the fire in the belly that transforms dreams into reality. To set the tone for the evening, may I invite Ms. Lata Venkatesh, Executive Editor, cnbc TV 18, to the stage.
We thank ICICI Bank for supporting cnbc TV 18 in this endeavor. This is a series where we go from city to city to learn something from that city and the best minds of that city. It is only entrepreneurship that can give you that 70% growth a year or a 700% growth in 10 years. And that is what we are trying to learn from all of you gentlemen, Dr. Vyas, Mr. Suparkar, Kamlesh Gandhi, and Mr. Rajendra Shah, who will be speaking to us about entrepreneurship. But before that, we will have lessons on innovation from Professor Anil Gupta, and I thank him for coming here, and we look forward to learn from him. If I told all of you that I came all the way from Bombay to learn about enterprise from these gentlemen and from Professor Gupta, I would be cheating a little. I came to actually see Kapil Dev, and I'm very happy that we are going to have someone like Kapil Dev speak to us about excellence and how do you get there and stay there. I look forward to that conversation. We have a very interesting evening lying ahead of us, one from a professor and one from people who have achieved great things in their own life, entrepreneurs in their own life, and of course, a Himalayan example of excellence in Kapil Dev. I wish all of you a very entertaining, educating, and enlightening evening. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Lata, so much. May I now invite Mr. Anuj Bhargava, National Head, Global Clients Group, ICICI Bank, to deliver the welcome address.
On behalf of ICICI Bank, I would firstly like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to stand amongst all of you who are distinguished business leaders and welcome you all over here in the city of Ahmedabad. And this topic which I have chosen about entrepreneurship, it relates to this city, which is Ahmedabad and part of Gujarat mainly. We have a special bonding with Gujarat because even ICICI Bank has a registered office in Gujarat. Not too many people know about it, but the idea was to get that whole entrepreneurial skill, which is there in the Gujarati also in the bank. So that's where one perspective we also share with the Gujarati community. So what we've seen is this state has given rise to a lot of world-class companies. And these companies have had a very humble and entrepreneurial background, innovation spirit amongst all the corporates we have actually financed and funded over the period of time. So Ahmedabad has created one of the world's largest corporations. So if you look at whether it's in refinery, whether you look at port, or you look at pharma. Sun Pharma, for example, is the best company in terms of profitability, not only in India, in the entire world. Refinery, we have one of the largest refinery over here. So what we realized is that the entrepreneurs in Gujarat have discovered, they have invented, they have designed, they have taken the company to the next level. And on that note, I wanted to share all our panelists. Maybe this is from our perspective, our bankers' perspective. We can hear more from the panelists who will be here, and they'll share their perspective with all of us. Thank you very much.
Today we have with us a very special guest. May I now invite Padma Shri Professor Anil Gupta for his address.
The time today has changed, in the sense that even the very large companies are beginning to explore why India is able to develop frugal innovations. Wouldn't it be nice if employees start behaving like startups and start looking for opportunities to grow at a pace at which the institutions generally do not provide the levels in the hierarchy? So how do we bypass hierarchical levels to provide space for our own people to grow at a pace that has never been thought about? And you cannot do that in the structures, in the hierarchy, because you have to maintain a consistency across levels. Then what do? We separate these kids and let them set up their own enterprises, wholly owned maybe, or largely owned by the companies, and they create new value for the company. So let us see how we can dissolve boundaries, expand horizons, and innovate systems. How do we do that? And if we do that, how will we be able to sustain that? There is a taxonomy of innovative solutions that we can generate. Sometimes we meet the need, sometimes we eliminate the need, sometimes we enhance the need, and sometimes we supplement the need. Which need do we need to respond to is a very critical question for a company to grow. We don't respond to all needs. Customers have many needs, but we don't respond to all. This is the crux of the matter. If this typology can be understood, our strategies can be aligned. Also, when technology domain is known and platform is known, we can work through incubation. When both are unknown, the red segment, we need sanctuary of innovation. Sanctuary, there are not many rules there. There is a freedom, there is autonomy. We need sanctuary spaces for innovators to grow. Many times we'll have to work without template. This is the last framework that I want to share. Innovation playground. There are two sides, inside out, outside in. If both are low, I don't want to share with anybody, I don't want to learn from anybody. I'm Koop Manduk, frog of the well, ostrich. I'm doomed. You know what happened to the Fortune 500 companies on the top 50 years ago, 20 years ago. They all vanished because they were not willing to learn. If you are willing to take learning from outside in is high, inside out is small. That means you won't share. You are like a sponge, but a shade better. The countries which are innovating, which are moving forward, are uploading a huge number of content. That's the secret of the progress. Please monitor and map the upload to downward ratio. Kindly monitor, kindly upload. You have ideas which are half-baked, you're not sure of them. Share. Somebody else will critique it, improve it. That's how we learn. That's how the world moves ahead. Please also remember, ideas that will succeed in the long term may not look attractive today. I call it tyranny of the now. We are so obsessed with our business today that we sometimes forget to think far ahead. Because we forget to think far ahead, somebody else thinks about it. And that's the reason why we don't able to get so much change. So please share your ideas. Somebody will find value. Just put 1 rupee license fee to know who that person is and give this idea to others. You have more ideas than you can really exploit in your business. All of us have that. And yet, we keep them to ourselves. We don't let them flourish, we don't let them go. So let me not just take much time. Let me close by saying, search, spread, celebrate innovation, and sense the unmet need. Every branch of your company must have these 4 goals on the wall. Search innovation, spread innovation, celebrate innovation, and sense the unmet needs. These needs are my R&D team's agenda. Let me just close by saying creativity counts, knowledge matters, innovations transform, and incentives inspire. But please remember, not just material incentives, also non-material incentives. Not just individual incentives, also collective incentives. Thank you so much.
ICICI Bank and cnbc TV 18 present the India Business Summit.
Please join me in welcoming once again Lata Venkatesh, Executive Editor, CNBC TV 18, as she moderates the discussion on Entrepreneurial Spirit, the Growth Catalyst.
I really want this to be anecdotal, if you all can, to tell us your story of success so that people who want to be entrepreneurs can pick something from it. So let me start with you, Mr. Shah. Tell us your story. What is that success formula of your entrepreneurship?
When I was graduated, there was no job available to engineer in 1970. I started with 175 rupees per month. I lost that job after 2 years, and there was no other way than to start my own business. So that's where I started. With a long struggle, today my company is working in 3 countries, India, China, and Romania.
I really want to know what makes you tick. I mean, how do you keep innovating when there are challenges? Mr. Soparkar, that is for you. Because you went on from pigments to pesticides to basic chemicals, pharmaceuticals. How do you keep that entrepreneurship going?
We started with the most basic, what everybody else was producing. There were a couple of manufacturers of blue. But we were very confident with our knowledge of chemical engineering. We'll be doing better than what they are doing. Okay. And that is the way gradually we improved in our quality, our delivery, our services. And we started exporting, and we grabbed the opportunity as and when it came. Suddenly we also realized that we are chemical engineers, not blue manufacturers. So we went from dyestuffs and pigments to pesticides. From pesticides we went to basic chemicals. From there we went to pharmaceuticals, saying that we are good at chemistry and chemical engineering and not restricted ourselves. We did not kept our vision low. We always expanded our vision. Living and learning, the two things that are, I guess, loving your job. So that brought all the 3 things that Professor Anil Gupta spoke about. Mr. Vyas, it's one thing to be in pharmaceuticals. It's one thing to be counted as one of the biggest in pharmaceuticals. It's a place where there is a lot of foreign competition and you have to succeed. You have to be as good as a foreign company. So how do you ensure that spirit?
I use my knowledge of being R&D chemist. I delivered the lectures on phase transfer catalysis in more than 250 places, which were several times into a particular industry and like that. But in total, more than 250 lectures I delivered on the catalysis.
Basically, make them trust that you know your subject very well. Kamlesh, your problem would be that NBFCs in India are dime a dozen. I mean, they just mushroom when wholesale price, cost of money falls. How do you remain an entrepreneur in what is a field which everyone knows, money lending? It's the oldest art known to humankind. How do you remain an entrepreneur in this field?
If I sum up the way we have worked, that whenever we have raised any liability, we have remained the strongest asset in the lender's book. This is how we have behaved over all these years. That we have been fundamentally very strong.
Always careful about your liability.
Correct. We cared about our assets and hence we could honor all our commitments on liabilities. And the fundamentals, what we followed over the years, was to add value wherever we work. And if you see over all these years, we have seen we have followed a very calibrated growth model. And one of the common denominator for all the financing companies not succeeding was an exponential growth. And when you try to exploit the situation rather than exploring a situation, this is what you face.
Prasanna, you're normally financing entrepreneurs. How do you identify an entrepreneur as not too risky? How do you draw the line between risk and innovation?
At the end of the day, we are lending or investing to businesses, but not to balance sheets and profit and loss accounts, because they tell you what is there in the past. The businesses is supposed to take care of the future. So ultimately, what is most important in a lending decision is the quality of the promoter and the quality of the management which they have. And that is the single important thing that we look at when we really look at lending, because they should have the capability to take the company through the challenges that they will face over the next few years and few decades. There is a lot of judgment in it.
It's not financial accounting.
So when you look at, absolutely, because that is the past, and what you need to do is to take a call on the future. And when you take a call on the future, you need people in the company who are capable to take a call on the future and to handle their businesses. We have to take a call on people.
Looks like in all industries there is equally so much to learn and equally so much to measure in terms of risk. Gentlemen, thank you very much for sharing with us your success formula for entrepreneurship and the risks that you should avoid or measure before you take them. Thank you very much.
ICICI Bank and CNBC TV 18 present the India Business Summit.
People like us learn from very young days, win and loss take in the same stride. So it doesn't affect you when you make a 0. It doesn't give you such a happiness when you make 100. Because you know that tomorrow it can be 0 or it can be 100. But the best part is in your life, if you work hard, have a passion, passion and commitment will take you on top. And the biggest passion in human being is, what I used to tell the cricket team, is being in love with the opposite person, opposite sex. That passion is the ultimate passion in this world. No other passion can match. I used to tell my team, can we bring that passion onto the cricket ground? If you can bring 50% of that passion when you're in love, you will achieve, nobody can beat you. Because that's the time your mind starts working. If that passion, if we bring onto the cricket ground, bring it onto your business or your work, you will be successful more often than less. And that's the way I played my game, I made my life. But everybody have their own way. Success doesn't come with one policy or one way. A successful Dhoni also, a successful Virat Kohli also. But both are so different, you can't imagine. They're different. There's nothing common in them. Two people, when you sit down and talk to them, one is very calm, quiet, not talking anything, and one is so aggressive, he didn't let any opportunity go not to say something. So success will only measure with your performance. To my mind, the passion is the only method you have where can take you on top. Another thing I talk about, commitment. Commitment is the key of success. Doesn't matter which field you can do it. If you are not committed, you will not reach on top. You will reach, but won't stay there long enough. And passion, commitment, and you have to have that feeling to work for yourself. As a team, I always used to say, as a captain, I used to say what I can do for my team, not team can do for me. A captain have lot of advantage. As a boss, have a lot of advantage. When he start thinking, is my team giving me or not? First of all, we used to say, can I give to my team? Can I look after my team's need? If I made a team, I always used to say, who is going through a rough time, can I look after them? If I look after them, I'm happy, because when you look after other person, they will give you life. They will die for you. But you have to do first for themselves rather than expecting. A lot of big businessmen come out, give me the result. First, make the team, man. Make the team. If you have a team, result will come out. And second thing, we haven't find the difference between two things. If I meet somebody, he's a good person, not a good worker, we haven't learned to say that. The worst part of our culture is, if I like a person, he's good everywhere. Not commit for the boss, commit for the company. The people who commit for the country, they are the people. Commit for the company, they are the people. Commit for the team, not for the captain, for the team. They are the one who brings success to the table. That's the way I look at it. I think I always feel if I can interact with the people, that gives me strength.
A big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed.
May I now invite Mr. Sumit Sangal, National Head, Large Clients Group, ICICI Bank, for the vote of thanks. Sir.
On behalf of ICICI Bank, I would like to thank all of you to make this event out of your busy schedule. It means a lot to us, and it was absolutely wonderful to host this event in the city of entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
ICICI Bank and CNBC TV 18 present the India Business Summit. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.